Hello YouTube! Alpha White will bring you the latest Death Battle reaction. This one, Zuko versus Shoto Todoroki. So, I won't lie, when I saw the thumbnail that confirmed that yes, this had in fact been uploaded and it was ready for me to do a reaction to, I jumped right on it, kind of making up for the fact that I was a little delayed with the last one. But here's the thing. Before I sat down for about a minute while I was setting up the recording software for my computer and figured out, okay, who would win this fight? And it only took me a couple minutes before I managed to find my vote. Shoto. Zuko is from one of my favorite shows. Avatar went on a lot longer than My Hero, had better animation than My Hero, awesome story arcs, amazing action, interesting plot lines. I loved the Avatar series. My Hero has been around for a little less and is a very interesting thing to look at and examine, but the simple fact is Shoto is bringing to the table. Shoto's bringing things to the table that Zuko will not be able to fight against. When I was thinking about it, I realized that Shoto is essentially what happens if you took Zuko and Katara and combined the two and then cranked their powers to 11. I think Zuko will definitely be able to be a match for Shoto, but I think the simple fact that Shoto is so powerful, because in that tournament arc, I think it was some kind of spring game tournament arc, I don't remember exactly, he literally created a massive glacier in a split second. I don't think that if Zuko gets hit with that, he's gonna be making it out in one piece. But that's just my prediction. Game on my phone. So, before we get into this, the usual disclaimer. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell to stay up to date with all our uploads. If you like the video, indicate so down below, and if you have suggestions for future videos, drop in the comments. In the description will be a link to the original video, which Death Battle has some good stuff, so I'd definitely go check that out. On that side note, let me know in the comments whether or not you want me to basically go through the entirety of Death Battle and basically like do a Death Battle revisited thing. If you want me to, I can definitely pencil in some time after I get done with the text-to-speech series. Text-to-speech shouldn't take too much longer. There's only a couple more episodes, but yeah, if you want me to do that, drop it in the comments. It'll be just one more thing that you all want me to react to, but so be it. And also in the description is a link to Gaming Glatorius' Twitter page, where you can go ahead and follow us, keep up to date with my growing army. I'm going to be uploading within the next 2 weeks, maybe 3, videos of me putting together some of the minis from the Prophecy of the Wolf box, which I'm excited about that because that'll be the first time I ever put together any Space Marines, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm not gonna lie, I am looking forward to that. But I wasted enough of your time. I know why you're here. So let's get into it, shall we? Video is a go in 3, 2, 1, and play.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Miller Lite.
The world is obviously a bit strange right now.
But beer makes it better, like an ice-cold, delicious Miller Lite.
Cheers to staying safe, keeping in touch, and great tasting beer.
Miller Lite, great taste with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. However you and your friends are enjoying Miller time this summer, you can have the original light beer delivered by going to MillerLite.com/battle to find the delivery options near you.
Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
With all those cool anime heroes out there, there's bound to be plenty with angsty daddy issues.
You mean like you?
Don't be silly, Wiz. I'm not an anime character. Like Prince Zuko, the firebending hunter of the Avatar, The Last Airbender.
And Shoto Todoroki, the prodigal son of fire and ice from My Hero Academia.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
A death battle.
Water, earth, fire, air. The four elemental nations once coexisted peacefully. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, the cranky old Fire Lord went and conquered basically the whole world.
And 100 years later, the equally powerful Master of Fire Ozai continued that tyranny. Many believed his rule would one day pass to either his daughter Azula or his son Zuko.
Yeah, Fire Dad was way too ego crazy for that. He drove Azula mad, even though he did clearly favor her. Poor little Zuko got screwed over from the beginning.
Can you imagine your dad saying that while your sister was born lucky, you were just lucky to be born?
I can't imagine my dad saying anything to me.
Oh. Right. Well, despite this, Zuko was desperate to prove himself. What a fine work ethic.
But he screwed up by talking out of turn in a big boy meeting. So naturally, his dad took him aside, sat him down, and taught him the importance of respecting others. Oh wait, just kidding, he burned his friggin' face off! Holy shit!
With his new scar came a new mission. Zuko would hunt down the elusive Avatar, the one threat to his nation's rule, to prove himself to his father and regain his honor.
Which is just a nice way of saying he was banished so he could never come back. Just like my dad didn't.
Though, frankly, Zuko did have the talent and training he needed to capture someone even as powerful as the Avatar.
Damn right, he's a fighting pro. The dude's strong enough to shatter metal chains with a kick. He's super skilled with martial arts, dual swords, and oh yeah, firebending.
As a firebender, Zuko harnesses the light of the sun to summon flames from thin air. Wherever fire remains alight in an area that's not too cold, he can manipulate or bend it to his will.
I mean, if I had to pick between swirling water around, tossing a few rocks, or farting hot air all the time, I would definitely go with firebending. It literally means you're a living flamethrower.
Plus, it's surprisingly versatile. Aside from simply creating, launching, and moving flames, firebending can be used to heat objects, melt through ice prisons, and even defy gravity.
Is that guy flying? With fire? Awesome! How does that even work?
Well, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law. By creating a rapid series of explosions an inch or so away from the palm, the air in between the hand and fire is launched toward the user, thereby creating propulsion.
Yeah, firebending isn't just about creating fire. It's about creating a bunch of it. So Zuko can make large, long-lasting walls of flame to protect himself and keep enemies at a distance. That stuff's hot, you know.
Yeah, it's fire. You know, I've actually rigged up my arm to replicate the technique of firebending. Dummy, if you'd please.
Another test. How thrilling.
Now, this isn't as simple as just pointing and shooting. Firebenders fuel their flames with their own breath. And using it at all requires a fierce understanding of martial arts.
What are you trying to do, the Macarena?
Zuko's favorite form, the dancing dragon, draws primarily from northern Shaolin Kung Fu.
That's a Chinese martial art that's all about agility, wide stances, and aggressive attacks. A perfect mix of speed and strength.
Like this. Whoa!
Wiz, why?
Ha ha ha.
Anyway, the fire that benders like Zuko can generate is extremely hot, capable of melting through a cast iron door hot. This would need to be over 1200 degrees Celsius.
And while Sozin's comet was boosting his powers, Zuko's uncle Iroh blasted apart the giant outer wall of Ba Sing Se. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Until Iroh comes a-knockin'. I mean, that's like the thickest wall I've ever seen. Second only to the emotional walls between me and my dad.
Even without Sozin's comet, which only appears once every 100 years, Zuko has more than enough firepower to level a building. That's no laughing matter for any person or building.
He's even quick enough to catch lightning and use his fire powers to redirect it wherever he wants it to go. Kapow! Suck it, Dad! Oh shoot, wait, did he just shoot his dad with lightning?
Zuko's quest for the Avatar led him down a different path than he expected. Inspired by his kind uncle and the Avatar himself, he joined the heroes on a new journey, one of self-discovery.
Yeah, turns out he didn't need his dad's approval after all. He just needed to approve himself. Now that's character development.
Zuko's definitely had a heated redemption arc, and now that he's the Fire Daddy, Lord, Fire Lord, his honor keeps burning brighter.
Are you crushing on Zuko?
What? No.
He's crushing.
It's okay, Wiz. Everybody does.
Hello, Zuko here.
He is one of the fan favorites.
Welcome to a world where the supernatural is natural, where more than 80% of the population possesses superhuman abilities known as quirks.
And because everyone loves to game a system, there's a superhero leaderboard. At the very top of it stands the ultimate hero, All Might.
All Might's feats and reputation were incredible, a true symbol of peace for everyone. That is, everyone except the hero perpetually stuck at rank number 2.
That's Endeavor, and he vowed to surpass All Might, but his literal firepower was just never enough.
But if he couldn't do it himself, he would vicariously through his own heir. Thus, he made the desperate decision to arrange a quirk marriage.
Basically, he paid a family off to get a wife with an ice quirk and popped out kids until he got the right quirk combo. Gross. I feel like I need a shower.
After 4, attempts, they finally spawned the child he was looking for, Shoto Todoroki.
Half cold, half hot. Literally, right side's ice like his mom, and left side's fire like his dad.
Endeavor quickly separated young Todoroki from his supposedly lesser siblings, ruthlessly training him to become the most powerful hero in history.
Surprise! Things didn't go so well. He drove Shoto's mom totally insane until she broke.
Pouring boiling water on her son's left side, because it reminded her too much of him.
Okay, this is getting super heavy for a colorful cartoon about superpowers and frog people.
Fortunately, Todoroki never truly fell for his father's disgusting manipulation. He attended UA High School, a hero academy, and worked to use his power for good.
But just his mom's power. Why use fire when you can stick it to the man? The man being a big scary fire dad over there. Anyone else notice his facial hair is made of fire? How does that work?
From his right side, Todoroki can summon intense bouts of cold, freezing the air or even creating massive glaciers of ice.
Talk about overkill! And like a good edgy teen, Shoto named this super iceberg something badass. Heaven-piercing ice wall! Oh, you can just taste the self-loathing.
He can create sheets of ice to slide on or propel himself forward as if riding a Heeley. While he can't manipulate the ice after he's launched it, he has extremely precise control over its initial release. He can even freeze opponents so thoroughly that they are frozen both inside and out, effortlessly causing necrosis and shattering body parts.
Seriously, that's so dark. It's chilling. Talk about having a cold shoulder.
But Todoroki has a problem. While he is highly resistant to cold, he's not immune.
Here I am. Guess I'll die.
Oh, I won't be needing you this time, dummy.
Genuine joy.
Casting too much ice from his right side will cause his body temperature to drop until he falls unconscious, potentially even suffering frostbite.
I mean, it takes freezing an entire building before side effects even start to show up, so it's not all. Why'd you even make this stupid robot?
That's why Endeavor chose to mix ice with fire. See, he had the same problem with his own fire quirk, but with cold and hot combined, they could counter each other's weaknesses.
Thankfully, Shoto met a friend who helped show him that his fire wasn't his father's, it was his own. You tell him, Deku! Finally, the full power of Icy Hot was unleashed! And you think you can help my back? Just hurts from carrying the show.
While he's much less proficient with fire given his lack of experience with it, this half of his quirk is identical to Endeavor's. His fire is hot enough to melt Tetsu Tetsu, whose body can turn to steel, which means it can reach temperatures over 1600 degrees.
He can blast fire like a raging inferno, form walls of flame to block off areas, and use his evil dad's signature technique, Flash Fire!
Flash fire is a method of compressing flame under super hot temperatures before releasing it in a single strike. Endeavor can also shape his fire, use it to cling to walls, and fly.
But even if he is a huge dick, Endeavor was kinda right. Fire and ice combined put both quirks at their best. Shoto's one of the best in his class, taking hits from a tank like Deku, fighting top-tier foes like Stain, and keeping up with classmates like Bakugo and Tokoyami, who can block Kaminari's electricity.
And while he's often criticized for relying too much on his quirk, Todoroki is incredibly smart and a quick thinker, reading and setting traps for his opponents in the blink of an eye.
And after all that craziness, he finally patched things up with his mom, and somehow even inspired his dad to try and be a better person. What a nice story. I wish he could inspire my dad too. Not Mama, though. She's already perfect.
Well on his way to becoming a successful hero, Shoto Todoroki no longer fights in spite of his father, but for himself and the sake of others.
I wanted to. I'll be a hero.
Alright, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, let me tell you about Blue Chew.
Alright, add. So, I'm still going with Shoto Todoroki. I maintained what I said about him being just in a league that Zuko can't really do much about. I know that Zuko could probably melt the ice if given enough time, but I don't think he'd be able to melt that much ice the moment that Shoto gets serious. Because the moment he does, he's going to summon that massive glacier and he's going to just bury Zuko. I think Zuko's a little bit better in hand-to-hand combat. I think there was a mention that he was like super skilled with non-bending techniques, but I don't think it's going to bridge this gap. So Shoto has my vote.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
A villain? You'll pay for that.
No, wait. I'm not the bad guy here. I mean, not anymore.
Your actions say otherwise! Fire, like my father. I'll prove I'm better than both of you!
What's the matter? Melting under pressure? He's just...
like me.
I would imagine that the fight would end right there.
My cabbages!
I never intended to finish you with fire. You could obviously block it. But not this. It's over.
I don't care how much power you have. I know who I am. I will win!
I don't think it's gonna help you here.
Then I'll have to go beyond.
Yeah, there it is.
I am the Fire Lord! I will win this for my honor!
To be honest, I did not anticipate him surviving that long.
Apologies.
KO!
Okay, talk about cool as hell. That was epic.
Please, I'm grieving here. Both Todoroki and Zuko held solid advantages over the other. Zuko's martial arts, athleticism, and lightning-fast reflexes meant that if he could get close to Todoroki, he could likely end the fight pretty quick.
But Shoto's no slouch. The guy may be better at long range, but he's been in scraps before. Like with the super fast, super deadly hero killer Stain. And with all that ice popping up everywhere and his own super sliding and boosting skills, Shoto made it hard for Zuko to get close for long.
Plus, the speed difference wasn't all that drastic. Todoroki's fellow student Tokoyami's Dark Shadow blocked Kaminari's electricity after it had been fired. Quirks are not magic, and there are very few ways for electricity to travel through the air. Lightning is essentially an ionized path that electricity travels through. Kaminari's quirk must use the same method.
Dark Shadow blocked Kaminari, Bakugo dodged Dark Shadow, and Todoroki can match Bakugo in a fight. Bada bing, bada boom, that's lightning fast reflexes, baby!
While Zuko certainly had more control over fire, Todoroki could easily repel his firebending with his own flames, not to mention the clear difference in temperature. Zuko may be skilled with fire, but he's not immune to it, nor did he have any reliable counter for fast and massive ice attacks.
We don't even need to bust out the calculator for this one, Wiz. That stadium is circled by a 4-kilometer track. That's huge! And the edgy ice wall covered almost half of it in less than a second! Zuko didn't have that kind of power spread.
Yes, I know fire melts ice, but not instantly when it comes to gigantic glaciers. Plus, firebending becomes much more difficult in cold temperatures. Sure, Zuko's melted through ice prisons before, but only ones where he could still move or at least breathe. Remember, firebending requires breath and movement. When Azula was trapped in an ice prison so compact she couldn't move or breathe, she was helpless.
But Shoto could just freeze over Zuko's insides anyway. No way he was surviving that.
Zuko might have been an admirable bender and adorable fan favorite, but Todoroki's overwhelming ice, versatile defense, and incredible power were just too much to handle.
Zuko aimed for success, but his opponent Shoto put him on ice.
The winner is Shoto Todoroki.
Okay.
Thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle. Come back next week to see previews of our upcoming matchups. If you want to watch more stuff, you can click the boxes right around here, and you can always pick up some DB merch at store.roosterteeth.com.
Alright, who's next? Wow. Okay, so that was really interesting. I am kind of looking forward to the Flash versus Sonic one. Alright. Or was it Kid Flash? Not sure. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that one. This one was a lot of fun. See, what really got me though is the fact that Shoto had two completely opposing elements working in tandem. Now, if Zuko had lightning, I'm pretty sure he would be a little more capable and versatile, but having fire and ice gives you a range that most other combatants just cannot match. And the sheer overwhelming power he has, there is no getting around that. Like, not in the slightest. I like Zuko, but I had to be pragmatic with this. Having fire and ice versus just fire, even if that enemy's fire is really impressive, you're gonna be coming up a little bit short. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really like these versus matches. I really like the death battles. Yeah, not much to say about this. So, I will not be uploading for the next week and a half at least. Not until like the 4th or 5th of September. I'm going to be busy elsewhere. But when I do get back, I intend to immediately throw myself into the next podcast, because The Last Church is a story I know about, and I really am looking forward to it because I really like the idea of the Emperor. I know The Last Church. I know it's basically talking about how the Emperor was going into the final religious place on Terra and debating the holy man within, and eventually burning it down. So I know about that story, and I'm looking forward to the podcast. But with all that said and done, this has been Alpha White Wolf. Oh, disclaimer. I completely forgot. Disclaimer. If you like this video, indicate so down below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with our uploaded content. If you have suggestions for future videos, drop them in the comments. And if you want me to revisit some of the older death battles, go ahead and say so down below. In the description will be a link to Gaming Glatorius' Twitter page where you can follow us and keep up to date with things like my growing orcs, updates on the channel, and really just kind of communicate with us in a way outside of YouTube. I'm really still trying to expand Gaming Glatorius beyond just YouTube. Having 500 subscribers is awesome. I love that. But reaching out to a larger audience and finding out more stuff that they want us to react to, more games they want us to play, things like that, that's also really interesting to me. But in addition to that link will be a link to the original video, which I highly recommend you go and check out. Death Battle is always a nice, fun thing to watch. But yeah, this has been Alpha White Wolf. I'm signing off. You keep howling, Wolfpack.